Hi, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
We're two of the three co-creators of Power Squared, everyone's favorite comic book. They just don't know it yet. So this is our weekly vlog about what's going on with the comic book. So this week, I guess the big story would be that we got 4 pages in pencil from the artist on issue number 10, right?
Yes.
That's the new issue that we're starting this year, and that we hoped also to kickstart. So we got 4 pages from her, and I guess the promise of the next 4, and it's looking good. It's kind of this interesting process. I think that you write something and you really don't know what it's going to look like until you actually start seeing it, and that's sort of there's a little excitement, and actually this is what it's going to look like going forward. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like that experience. So we're hoping to keep that going. Nothing yet from the colorist this month, but I know she's got a lot of other projects. She's got her own Etsy store and Etsy store. Got it wrong again. She has a convention that she's getting ready for. And she has her own, she kickstarted or crowdfunded a book, and that's finally come in. She's having to distribute that. So I know she's got a lot on her plate. So hopefully we'll get something from her soon on that. We've registered for copyright the next 2 issues, 6 and 7. And that we'll be just submitting them to Comixology in the next day or so. That's just something that just never quite seems to happen, but it's kind of just life in general. So that's kind of where we are, right? Anything else going on with the issue?
I don't know if there's anything else going on.
Okay. So one of the things we are working on, which I mentioned earlier, is trying to kickstart issue number 10. Trying to get hopefully some outside interest. People might read it that wouldn't necessarily have read it on Comixology, since no one seems to be reading it on Comixology. So we're working on some tier levels, which will hopefully be kind of fair, but help bring in some interest and money and readership, hopefully, right?
Yeah,
that's the whole goal.
Comics aren't cheap to make.
No, they're not. We normally talk about we've been using this time to also talk about characters in the comic book, and we've been talking the last few weeks. Last week it was Dr. Brubaker and Dr. Reynolds, right? And then before that it was Dr. Atlas and Instructor Miller. Yeah. And so this week it's Dr. Jordan. And he is, if you've read the first 2 issues, all these villains are sort of in those issues. We're just expanding on their own little stories. And Dr. Jordan is really, I think the first character we have that's really not based on anybody.
No.
And I recall that we just randomly found a picture on the internet and said, use that as the example. It's not like we had, it was so-and-so from some movie or something. It was
like
just
some stock photo guy.
Yeah, it's literally just a stock photo on the internet that we,
as far as I remember.
I recall it being nobody that we weren't even looking for somebody. It was just a face, and sent that to the artist, used that. And so then we're kind of stuck moving forward with the same look. So Dr. Jordan, he comes to San Romero Community College as yet another new science teacher, he's a biology teacher.
Yeah,
and sort of tries to have his own little way with the Viribus compound, which, as you recall, is what Dr. Atlas believes is in the bloodstream. It's a compound that's in the bloodstream of anybody that has superhero powers, right?
Right. Special abilities.
Right. So that's the thing to look for, and we won't go into the plot of those comic books yet, but it does, excuse me, factor in. Wow. Getting all choked up. Sorry. Anyway, so that's kind of where Dr. Jordan came from. No place in particular, but we just had a third villain that we'd set up, and we decided to use it. And I think it's a pretty good story arc, which you hopefully will find out very soon. So that's kind of we've gone through sort of the main characters and now the main villains. There that have been in issues that are out or are going to be out. We have other ones, Professor Theorem, that we haven't talked about, but I'd like to wait a little while on talking about her because that issue is going to be later in the year, hopefully, come out.
And of course, if our comic is successful, we have plans for other.
In 10, we introduce another new villain, right?
Yeah.
And then in, was it 12 or 13, we introduced yet another one. So it keeps coming. It's not going to be quite as many as Batman or Spider-Man. They have their own little gallery and probably have their own comic books. But we're just trying to keep it kind of interesting, and that's the whole point, is to keep it hopefully interesting and ongoing and sustainable. So anyway, anything else you want to bring up?
Nothing related to the comic.
Okay. But
if you liked this video and want to keep up with behind the scenes of Power Squared, then make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to know when these videos come out. And if you think someone else would like it, please share.
Right. That'd be great.
All of these help our visibility.
Right. So, and again, we're out there on a lot of social media, website, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest.
Links are all down in the description.
Yes. And you can follow us on any and all of those would be greatly appreciated. So I guess until next week, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankin.
And this has been a week in Power Squared.